Hi everyone, in today's video we will learn laws of indices with example. Okay, now a raised to m. So a raised to m is called the index notation. So in this a raised to m, a which is at the bottom is called the base. Remember, b bottom, b base. So whatever is at the bottom number is called the base, and whatever is exponential is called the index. So a raised to m, a is called as the base and m is called as the index. Okay, example, in 4 raised to 3, 4 is called as the base and 3 is called as index. It can be written as 4 raised to 3. We can write as 4 times 4 times 4, 3 times 4. 4 is called the base, 3 is called index. We are multiplying it by 3 times. Okay, now let us learn some laws of indices. The first law is multiplication law. A raised to m times a raised to n. So it is multiplication. There is a sign of multiplication. Look, the bases are same, a and a, but index are different. So a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So whenever there is a multiplication sign in between, we write same base a and we add the indices. So m and n we add. So a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. Example, y raised to 2, that is y square, times y raised to 5 is equal to y raised to 2 plus 5, and y raised to 2 plus 5 is equal to y raised to 7. Okay, next, division, law of division, okay, for indices. So a raised to m divided by a raised to n, this time it is division. So whenever there is division, we subtract. Okay, for multiplication we had added, whereas for division we subtract. So a raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. Example, t raised to 8 divided by t raised to 2 is equal to t raised to 8 minus 2 is equal to t raised to 6. The third law, a raised to m raised to n is equal to a raised to m times n. There's a bracket here, so we multiply. So mn, so is equal to a raised to mn. Example, p raised to 3 square is equal to p raised to 3 times 2 is equal to p raised to 6. Another law, a raised to 1. So any number raised to 1 is the number itself. A raised to 1 is equal to a. Example, 5 raised to 5 is equal to 5. So any number raised to 1 is the same number. Now, a raised to 0 is equal to 1. Any number raised to 0 is always 1. Any number. Okay. 5 raised to 0 is equal to 1. Any number raised to 0 is 1. Number 5. Now number 6. The sixth law. A raised to minus n. So when it is negative, so we just flip over and make it positive, is equal to 1 over a raised to n, or we can say reciprocal. So a raised to minus n is equal to 1 over a raised to n. Just flip over and make it positive. Example, 5 raised to minus half is equal to 1 over 5 raised to half. A raised to minus 1 is equal to 1 over a raised to 1. A raised to 1 is a, is equal to 1 over a. So a raised to minus 1 is equal to 1 over a. Seventh one, the seventh law, a raised to 1 over n. So whenever there is 1 over, so it n, so this n represents root. So a raised to 1 over n is equal to nth root of a. Okay, whenever 1 over or any number over there is n, so we write as root. So a raised to 1 over n is the nth root of a. Example, 27 raised to 1 over 3 is equal to third root of 27. that is cube root of 27. What is cube root of 27? Is 3. Okay, because 27 is equal to is 3 times 3 times 3. So the cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, another example, another law. A raised to m over n. This time it is m over n. Here it was 1 over n. Now here it is m over n is equal to, over n is the nth root of a. Just like this, nth root of a. Okay. So a raised to m over n is equal to nth root of a raised to m. Okay, m goes here. This is nth root of a and raised to m. M goes up. Example, 8 raised to 2 over 3 is equal to third root of 8, that is cube root of 8 square. Okay, so what is cube root of 8? It is 2. 8 is 2 cube, so it is 2 square, and is equal to 4 is the answer. Now let us solve examples. First one, solve a raised to 2 times a raised to 8. Which law? The first one. It is multiplication law. A raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. No need. See, a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So we use this law. So it's equal to a raised to 2 plus 8 is equal to a raised to 10 is the answer. Here, another question. T raised to 8 times t raised to 4 divided by t raised to 2. So we will go step by step. So t raised to 8 times t raised to 4 is equal to t raised to 8 plus 4 over t square is equal to t raised to 12 over t raised to 2 or t square. Now it is division. So we just subtract. So is equal to t raised to 12 minus 2 is equal to t raised to 10. Okay. Now this m raised to 4 times m raised to 2 times m raised to 0 is equal to, we use multiplication law. So is equal to m raised to 4 plus 2 plus 0. 4 plus 2 plus 0 is equal to m raised to 6. Okay. Or we can also use we can do 2 at a time. M raised to 4 times m raised to 2. If we go take 2 things at a time, so it is m raised to 4 times m raised to 2 is equal to m raised to 4 plus 2 is 6 times m raised to 0. Any number raised to 0 is always 1 is equal to m raised to 6 times 1 is equal to m raised to 6. Any number times 1 is same, is equal to m raised to 6. So you can do whichever method you want to. Another question. Find the value of 3 raised to minus 2. So what we do? It is 3 raised to minus 2. So we just flip over and write is equal to 3 raised to 2 is equal to 1 over 9. Another question now. Question number 5. What is 36 raised to half? So it is the second root or square root. So square root of 36. Okay, it is square root. So square root we don't have to write. It is understood. It is 6. 6 6 are 36. So answer is 6. This is very easy. 125 raised to 0. So any number raised to 0, answer is 1. Now this, simplify. X raised to 3 raised to 5 is equal to x raised to 3 times 5. So it is 3 times 5. It is equal to x raised to 15. Okay. Now another one. Simplify. 4x raised to 7 bracket the whole square. So here we have number and letters. So let us do step by step. So what is, we go for numbers first. So 4 square, there is a bracket here. So bracket is for both 4 and for x raised to 7 as well. So 4 square. So what is 4 square? 16. Now we go for letter. So x raised to 7 square. So it is equal to x raised to 7 times 2 is 14. Just like previous one. X cube raised to 5 is x raised to 15. So x raised to 7 raised to square is equal to x raised to 14. Another question. Simplify. Here we will go for numbers first and then we will do the letters. So what is 16 over 2? 8. Now next, x raised to 5, we'll go one by one. So first we'll go for x term. So x raised to 5 over x. So it is x raised to 1. X is x raised to 1. So it is division. X raised to 5 divided by x raised to 1. So it becomes x raised to 5 minus 1. It is x raised to 4. Now for y raised to 3 over y raised to 2. So it becomes y raised to 3 minus 2 is 1. So it is only 1. So answer is 8 x raised to 4 y. Another one. Now this one. Okay, we'll go step by step for this. 125 raised to minus 2 over 3. So because it is over 3, it is actually the cube root of 125. Okay, it is 1/4 and raised to minus 2. It is equal to, what is cube root of 125? 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So it is 5. So cube root of 125 is 5 raised to minus 2. It is equal to 1 over 5 square. We just flip over and change the sign. Okay. Is equal to 1 over 25. Hope you understood indices, the laws of indices along with examples. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe my video for more upcoming videos. Thank you.